He only bid to amuse himself, to toy with fate the way he toyed with everything else. But when his date walked in, confident, beautiful, unshaken, he felt something he hadn't felt in years. Not fear, not desire, something more dangerous than both. Then she dropped the badge on the table. The sound was louder than a gunshot, and in that instant, Craig Dwyer finally understood. The woman he was falling for had come to arrest him. What happens when the most dangerous man in the city falls for the one woman who could destroy him? Craig Dwyer owned the night. The streets whispered his name in fear. Politicians, businessmen, even cops, they all bent to his will. He bought what he wanted, disposed of what he didn't, and never looked back. Until the charity auction, until Lot 23, until her. He bid $250,000 for a mystery date, expecting another forgettable evening with another forgettable woman. But Sheila Tuck wasn't forgettable. She was sharp where others were soft, fearless where others trembled. And when she finally revealed what she really was, when that gold badge hit the mahogany table with a sound that silenced an entire restaurant, Craig Dwyer realized something terrifying. He'd fallen for a cop, and she'd been hunting him all along. What would you do if the person you were falling for turned out to be your greatest enemy? If you love stories where power meets passion, where danger dances with desire, and where one moment can change everything, hit that subscribe button. New stories every week from SureFolk Studio. Don't miss the twist you'll never see coming. The Grand Belmont Hotel glittered like a jewel box designed to distract the wealthy from their sins. Crystal chandeliers cast fractured light across marble floors where Chicago's elite mingled. Champagne flutes in hand, smiles perfectly calibrated to hide their real intentions. Craig Dwyer stood near the bar watching, always watching. He didn't need to mingle. People came to him. Nervous politicians, desperate businessmen, socialites hoping to be seen in his orbit. He was the sun they all revolved around, whether they admitted it or not. You planning to bid on anything tonight? Or are you just here to terrify the donors? Marco leaned against the bar beside him, scanning the crowd with the perpetual suspicion of a man who'd seen too many betrayals. I'm here because Senator Mitchell insisted. Craig swirled the amber whiskey in his glass. Something about maintaining appearances and community involvement. You? Involved with the community? Marco snorted. That's rich? Craig's lips curved in something that wasn't quite a smile. We all wear masks, Marco. Mine just happens to be more expensive than most. The auctioneer's voice crackled through the speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, we're moving to our special charity date auction. All proceeds go to the Children's Hospital Foundation. How noble, Craig thought, using romance to extract money from lonely rich men. Lot 19, Lot 20, Lot 21. Craig barely paid attention. He'd attended dozens of these events. Same script, different faces. Then came Lot 23. And now, gentlemen and ladies, we have something special. A mystery date. Her identity remains anonymous, but I can tell you she's intelligent, accomplished, and has specifically requested her winning bidder be someone who can handle a challenge. Craig's attention sharpened. Handle a challenge? We'll start the bidding at $10,000. Paddles raised across the ballroom. $15,000. $20,000, $30,000. Craig didn't move. You're not interested? Marco asked. Not yet. $50,000. $75,000. The bidding slowed. $75,000 going once? Craig raised his paddle. $100,000. Heads turned. Whispers rippled through the crowd like electricity through water. Who bids that much for a mystery date? The auctioneer's eyes widened. We have $100,000. Do I hear $125,000? A tech CEO in the back trying to prove something. Craig didn't hesitate. 200,000. Silence. Marco stared at him. Boss? What are you? $250,000. Craig's voice cut through the room like a blade. The auctioneer stammered. $250,000. Going once, twice. Sold to Mr. Craig Dwyer. Applause erupted. Cameras flashed. Craig remained perfectly still, his expression unreadable. Why did I do that? He didn't know. Couldn't explain it. Something in the auctioneer's description, someone who can handle a challenge, had triggered an instinct he usually reserved for business deals and territorial disputes. You just spent $250,000 on a blind date, Marco muttered. Please tell me, this is some kind of power move I'm not seeing. Craig finished his whiskey. Maybe I'm curious. Curious? You? What does it mean when curiosity becomes dangerous? Natalie Cross approached, clipboard in hand. Professional smile plastered on her face. Mr. Dwyer, congratulations! Your date has been scheduled for tomorrow evening at Le Ciel Bleu, 8 p.m. Private dining room, of course. Of course. She's very much looking forward to meeting you. Craig met her eyes. Is she? Natalie's smile faltered for just a fraction of a second. I believe so, yes. Why did she hesitate? As Natalie walked away, Marco leaned closer. Boss, I don't like this. Mystery dates, anonymous women, specific requests. This smells like a setup. Then have someone look into it. Already on it. But as Craig left the ballroom, he felt something he hadn't felt in years. Anticipation. Not the cold, calculated anticipation of a business acquisition or territorial expansion. Something else. Something almost like excitement. What kind of woman specifically requests someone who can handle a challenge? And why do I suddenly care? Sheila Tuck stood in front of her bathroom mirror, applying the last touch of lipstick. Red. Bold. Unapologetic. Her hands were steady. Years of training had taught her to control every physical tell. But inside was a different story. You're about to have dinner with the most dangerous man in Chicago. Her phone buzzed. Detective Banks. You ready for this, Tuck? As ready as I'll ever be. She smoothed down her black dress. Elegant, but not revealing. Expensive, but not desperate. The wire's in place. Audio's clear. Remember, you're not there to arrest him. Not yet. We need evidence. Solid, courtroom-ready evidence. Get close, gain his trust, find out about the shipment coming in next month. I know the plan, Ray. Sheila, Banks's voice softened. Be careful. Craig Dwyer isn't like the other targets you've worked. He's smart. Dangerously smart. If he suspects anything, he won't. How can you be so sure? Sheila stared at her reflection. Because men like Craig Dwyer have one weakness. They never expect to be outplayed by a woman. She hung up before Banks could argue. Is confidence the same as control? Or just another lie we tell ourselves? Le Ciel Bleu, 8:07 p.m. Sheila arrived 7 minutes late. Intentional, calculated. Never arrive first. Never appear eager. The maitre d' escorted her through the restaurant's main floor to a private elevator. As they ascended, Sheila memorized every detail. Emergency exits, security cameras, staff positions. Always have an escape route. The elevator doors opened to a glass-enclosed dining room suspended above the city. Chicago sprawled below them, lights twinkling like scattered diamonds, and there, by the window, stood Craig Dwyer. He turned as she entered. Oh, photos hadn't done him justice. He was tall, well over 6 feet, with dark hair styled with deliberate casualness, sharp cheekbones, and eyes that seemed to dissect everything they saw. He wore a charcoal suit that probably cost more than her annual salary, tailored to perfection. But it was his eyes that caught her. Gray, cold, calculating, and currently studying her like she was a puzzle he intended to solve. "You're late." Not accusatory, just observant. "Traffic." She glided toward the table, refusing to be intimidated by his presence. "In 7 minutes?" He's sharp. "I like to make an entrance." Something flickered in his eyes. Amusement? Interest? She couldn't tell. He pulled out her chair. "Sheila Tuck." "According to the organizers." "Craig Dwyer," she replied, sitting with practiced grace. "According to everyone. You know who I am. Everyone knows who you are. And yet, you still came. What does that say about you?" She met his gaze directly. "And yet you bid $250,000 for a mystery date. What does that say about you?" A smile, genuine this time, crossed his face. "That I make impulsive decisions." "Do you?" "Never." "Then why am I here?" Craig sat across from her, studying her with an intensity that felt almost physical. "Why don't you tell me?" "He's testing me." Sheila leaned back, projecting casual confidence. "Maybe you're bored. Rich men often are. You've conquered your world, acquired everything you wanted, eliminated every challenge. Then, along comes something you can't predict, can't control. A mystery. So you buy it. Interesting theory. Am I wrong?" Craig poured wine, a Bordeaux that probably cost more than most people's car payments. "What do you do, Sheila?" "I'm a consultant." "Vague. I like my privacy. Yet you volunteered for a charity auction where your identity would be revealed to the highest bidder." "Damn, he's good." "I like children's hospitals more than I like privacy." "Noble." "Is it? Or is it just good PR, like your presence at these charity events?" His eyes narrowed, not in anger, but in something closer to appreciation. "You're not intimidated by me." "Should I be?" "Most people are." "I'm not most people." When two predators meet at the same watering hole, which one drinks first? The waiter appeared with appetizers. As he left, Sheila noticed something. Craig's posture shifted infinitesimally when the waiter approached, his right hand moving slightly toward his jacket. He's armed. Of course he's armed. "So," Craig said, cutting into his food with surgical precision, "what does a consultant do exactly?" "Depends on the client. I solve problems." "What kind of problems?" "The complicated kind." He smiled. "You're very good at giving non-answers. And you're very good at asking probing questions. Occupational hazard." "You could say that." They ate in silence for a moment, but it wasn't uncomfortable. It was charged, electric, like two chess players studying the board between moves. "Tell me something real," Craig said suddenly. Sheila looked up. "What?" "Everyone wears masks. You said I'm good at asking questions. I'm also good at detecting lies. So tell me something true, something you wouldn't normally share." Dangerous territory. But Sheila had trained for this. The best lies were wrapped in truth. "I grew up in Southside," she said quietly. "Single mother. 3 jobs. Never enough food. I watched her work herself to death, literally, before she saw me graduate high school. I swore I'd never be powerless again, that I'd never let anyone control my life. Every word was true. She just left out the part about joining the police academy because she wanted to stop men like him. Craig's expression shifted, something softer, almost human. Is that why you're not afraid of me? Because you've already survived worse? Maybe, or maybe I just don't believe in fear. Everyone believes in fear. Everyone experiences fear, believing in it, letting it control you. That's a choice. Who is this woman? Craig found himself leaning forward, genuinely engaged for the first time in… how long? Years? She wasn't performing for him, wasn't trying to seduce him or manipulate him or gain favor. She was simply present, sharp, real. Can I ask you something? Sheila said. You can ask. Why crime? The question hung in the air like smoke. Excuse me? You're clearly intelligent. You could have been anything, businessman, politician, lawyer. Why choose the path you chose? Does she really not know, or is she testing me? Who says I chose crime? Craig replied carefully. Sheila smiled, a real smile that reached her eyes. Come on, Craig. We both know what you are. The question is why. He should have been angry, should have ended the evening right there, but instead he found himself answering. Because the system is rigged. Politicians are criminals with better PR. Businessmen steal billions legally. At least in my world, we're honest about what we are. No pretense, no lies. That's quite a rationalization. It's not a rationalization. It's a choice. I chose clarity over hypocrisy. Sheila tilted her head. And all the people you've hurt? Collateral damage? I don't hurt innocent people. Just criminals? Just people who made their own choices. Like you did? Like you did. The words hit harder than they should have. For 3 hours they talked, debated, challenged each other. Craig couldn't remember the last time someone had matched him intellectually, verbally, philosophically. As the evening wound down, Craig walked her to the elevator. I'd like to see you again, he said. Not a question. Not quite a demand. Something in between. Sheila studied him. This is it. Get close. Gain his trust. Thursday. Dinner at your place. My place. If you're going to pursue this, whatever this is, I want to see the real you, not the public facade. Craig's jaw tightened. No one came to his home. Ever. That's my condition. Sheila stepped into the elevator. Otherwise, this was a very expensive one-time date. The doors started to close. Thursday, Craig heard himself say, 8 p.m. The doors closed. Marco appeared from the shadows. Boss, what the hell are you doing? I don't know, Craig admitted, and that's what terrifies me. Detective Raymond Banks threw the folder across his desk. His home? Are you insane? Sheila stood by the window of the police station, arms crossed, watching the city wake up. It's the perfect play. He's bringing me into his inner sanctum. That's where the evidence will be. That's where you'll get killed. He won't hurt me. How can you possibly know that? Sheila turned to face him. Because he's interested. Really interested. Men like Craig. They're predators, Ray. They don't hurt prey. They're still hunting. Banks ran his hands through his thinning hair. 2 years. 2 years you've been hunting this bastard. Don't blow it now by developing feelings. I don't have feelings for him. Then why did you stay for 3 hours? Building rapport takes time. Rapport, Banks laughed bitterly. That what we're calling it now? Sheila moved to the door. Wire me up Thursday. Position teams 3 blocks out, not 2. Craig will have counter-surveillance. And for God's sake, tell Johnson to stay off the radio unless it's an emergency. Sheila, she paused. If this goes south, if he figures out who you are, we might not get to you in time. Then I guess I better not let him figure it out. Craig's penthouse, Chicago Loop. You're bringing her here? Marco paced the length of Craig's office like a caged animal. To the penthouse? Where we do business. Where? I know what happens here, Marco. Then why? Good question. Craig stood at his window, looking down at the city below. His city, his territory, his empire. He'd built it through intelligence, ruthlessness, and careful calculation. He never made emotional decisions. Until now. She challenged me, Craig said quietly. So, no one challenges me. Boss, beautiful women are a dime a dozen. Smart women? Sure, harder to find, but not impossible. But this is different. You're acting different. How? You're distracted, unpredictable. That makes you vulnerable. Craig turned. You think she's a threat? I think anyone who gets under your skin is a threat. He's not wrong. Did your people find anything? Marco sighed. Sheila Tuck, 32, consultant for various corporate clients, grew up South Side, like she said. Mother died when she was 17. No criminal record, no red flags. And it's clean, too clean, like someone scrubbed it. Craig's instincts sharpened. What aren't you saying? Her employment history has gaps. 3 years in her 20s just missing. And the consulting work? I can verify some clients, but others don't exist anymore. Convenient. You think she's lying? I think she's hiding something. Question is, what and why? What are you hiding? Sheila Tuck? Thursday, 7:45 p.m. Sheila adjusted the wire beneath her dress, black again, sophisticated with strategic cutouts that made weapon detection harder. No visible jewelry except small diamond earrings, actually cubic zirconia, cheaper to replace if things went wrong. Audio check, she whispered. We hear you. Banks's voice in her nearly invisible earpiece. Teams are in position. Say the code word lighthouse and we breach in 90 seconds. Understood. Sheila, Banks hesitated. Good luck. She didn't need luck. She needed focus. Craig's penthouse, 8:03 p.m. The elevator required a key card and biometric scan. Serious security. When the doors opened, Sheila stepped into not what she expected. She'd anticipated cold modernism, all glass and steel, and deliberate intimidation. Instead, she found warmth, exposed brick walls, rich wooden floors, floor-to-ceiling bookshelves filled with actual books, not just decorative spines, leather furniture that looked lived in rather than staged, art that seemed chosen for meaning rather than value. Who is this man? Craig stood in the open kitchen, cooking. Actually cooking, not directing a private chef. You look surprised, he said, not looking up from the vegetables he was chopping. I am. What? I didn't picture you as someone who cooks. I don't. Usually, but... He finally looked at her, and something in his expression made her breath catch. I wanted tonight to be different. Dangerous. This is getting dangerous. Wine? He gestured to an already open bottle. Please. As she moved into the space, Sheila's trained eyes catalogued everything. Exits, 3, including the balcony. Security cameras, disabled, interesting. Potential weapons, multiple, but nothing immediately accessible. Documents on his desk. Looking for something? Damn. She turned to find Craig watching her. Wine glass extended, expression unreadable. Just admiring your taste. This isn't what I expected. What did you expect? A supervillain's lair? Something like that. He smiled, actually smiled, warm and genuine. Sorry to disappoint. The evil lair is downstairs. Was he joking? With Craig, it was impossible to tell. They ate dinner on his balcony, overlooking the city lights. Craig had made Italian, pasta carbonara, simple but perfectly executed, with roasted asparagus and a salad. "You're good at this," Sheila said. "My mother taught me. Before. His jaw tightened. Before she died. There. Vulnerability. Use it." But even as the tactical part of her brain screamed to exploit the opening, another part, a part she didn't want to acknowledge, hesitated. "How old were you? 15? That's young to lose a parent." "You lost yours at 17. He remembered. "How did she die?" Sheila asked softly. Craig was quiet for a long moment. "Cancer. It was not quick. I'm sorry." "Are you?" The question was sharp, probing. "Yeah," Sheila said, and meant it. "What's happening to me?" They talked through dinner, through dessert, through a second bottle of wine, and with each passing moment, Sheila felt the lines blurring. Investigator and target, cop and criminal, hunter and prey. At some point, they moved to the couch. At some point, his hand found hers. At some point, she stopped reminding herself why she was really there. "Can I ask you something?" Craig's voice was quiet, intimate. "Always. Are you real?" Sheila's heart stuttered. "What? This? You? Are you real, or am I imagining the connection?" "Say something. Lie. Maintain cover." "I'm real," she whispered. "This is real. Too real." He moved closer, his eyes searching hers, looking for, what? Truth? Deception? Permission? "Craig." The moment shattered as Vincent Dwyer burst through the elevator doors, flanked by 2 armed men. "We have a problem," Vincent snarled, then stopped when he saw Sheila. "Who the hell is this?" Craig was on his feet instantly, positioning himself between Sheila and his brother. "Vincent, this isn't... You're entertaining company while our shipment just got intercepted? While cops are breathing down our necks?" "Cops." Sheila felt her blood turn to ice. "Get out." Craig's voice was deadly quiet. "Not until... Out!" Vincent stared at his brother, then at Sheila, his eyes calculating. "Fine, but we talk. Now." He left. Craig turned to Sheila. "I'm sorry. I need to... It's fine." She stood, gathering her purse. "I should go anyway." "No." His hand caught her wrist, gentle but firm. "Stay, please. Give me 10 minutes. This is it. This is my chance." "Okay," Sheila said. "I'll wait." The moment he left, she moved. The desk first, locked, but she had tools in her purse. The drawer slid open silently. Files, papers, a ledger. Jackpot. "What are you doing?" Sheila spun. Marco stood in the doorway, gun drawn, eyes cold. Time froze. Sheila's hand was still on the ledger. Marco's gun was still pointed at her heart. The distance between them, maybe 15 feet, might as well have been 15 miles. "I asked you a question." Marco's voice was eerily calm. "What are you doing at the boss's desk?" Think. Think. I was looking for a pen. Sheila's voice didn't shake. Years of training. Years of lying. Years of surviving. To write my number down. Your number. Craig doesn't have it. You expect me to believe that? I expect you to lower the gun before he comes back and sees you pointing it at his date. Marco's eyes narrowed. You're too calm. You think I should be panicking, crying, begging? Sheila straightened, closing the drawer with deliberate casualness. I grew up in neighborhoods where guns pointed at me were just Tuesday. This isn't my first rodeo, Marco. You know my name. Mistake. Craig mentioned you. When? Does it matter? Everything matters. They stared at each other, predator and predator, both calculating odds, both looking for weaknesses. You don't trust me, Sheila said. I don't trust anyone who gets close to him this fast. Then maybe you should trust his judgment. His judgment is compromised. By me? By something that looks like you. What does that mean? Before Sheila could respond, Craig's voice echoed from down the hall. Marco, where's the Rodriguez file? Marco's gun disappeared into his jacket so smoothly, Sheila almost doubted it had been there. But his eyes held a promise. I'm watching you. We're not done, he whispered. Then louder, Here, boss, just grabbing something from your office. Craig appeared in the doorway, frustration etched across his features. Then he saw Sheila, and his expression softened. You're still here. I said I'd wait. Something in Marco's posture shifted. Disbelief? Suspicion? Marco, I need privacy. Boss, we should discuss privacy. Marco left, but not before shooting Sheila one last loaded glance. Craig moved to the bar, poured himself 3 fingers of scotch, downed it in one swallow. I'm sorry. Vincent has impeccable timing. Everything okay? No. He poured another drink. Business complications. Want to talk about it? He laughed, bitter, exhausted. What I want is to not be who I am, just for one night, just for... He looked at her. Just with you. Stop feeling things. But Sheila found herself moving toward him, closing the distance, her hand touching his arm. Craig, do you know what it's like? His voice was raw in a way she'd never heard. To always be on, always calculating, always 3 moves ahead? To never trust anyone? To know that everyone wants something from you? Yes, I know exactly what that's like. What do you think I want from you? She asked softly. He turned, and the vulnerability in his eyes nearly broke her. That's the problem. I don't know, and that terrifies me. Why? Because it means you might be real. And if you're real... He reached up, his hand cupping her cheek with surprising gentleness. If you're real, then I have something to lose again, and I swore I'd never let that happen. Sheila's breath caught. This wasn't part of the plan. This wasn't supposed to happen. Kiss him. Don't kiss him. Use him. Don't hurt him. What the hell is wrong with me? Sheila? Craig's voice was barely a whisper. Tell me to stop. She should. She absolutely should. Instead, she closed the distance. The kiss was everything. Gentle and fierce, tender and desperate. A collision of 2 people who'd spent their lives building walls, finally letting them crack. When they broke apart, both breathing hard, Craig pressed his forehead to hers. Stay tonight. No, 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 no. I can't. Why? Because I'm a cop. Because I'm using you. Because this is all a lay. Because... I'm not ready for this, whatever this is. Pain flickered across his face, but he nodded. Okay. But Thursday, Sheila heard herself say. Come to my place Thursday. Let me cook for you. What are you doing? Your place? Fair's fair. You showed me yours. A small smile. Okay. He walked her to the elevator, kissed her once more, softer this time, tinged with something that felt like promise, or maybe goodbye, and watched the doors close between them. Inside the elevator, descending the moment the doors shut, Sheila's legs nearly gave out. Jesus Christ! Banks's voice in her ear. What the hell was that? Not now. You kissed him. You kissed the target. I said not now. Tuck, you're compromised. We're pulling you out. No, that wasn't a request. Sheila ripped the earpiece out, dropped it in her purse. Her hands were shaking. Actually, shaking. I'm a professional. I'm trained for this. I don't feel things, but she did. She felt everything, and it was destroying her. Craig's penthouse. Same moment. She's a cop. Craig spun to find Marco standing in the shadows of his living room. What? Your girl. She's a cop. That's impossible. I just had our tech guy run a deeper check. Her consulting business? Shell company? Her clients? Half don't exist. The gaps in her employment? Police academy and undercover training. The room tilted. No, Craig's voice was hollow. No, you're wrong. Boss, she wouldn't? She already has. Marco pulled out his phone, showing Craig a photo. Sheila Tuck in police uniform 5 years ago at a graduation ceremony. Everything inside Craig went cold. How long have you known? 20 minutes. I wanted to be sure before. She was at my desk. What? When you found her, she was at my desk. Craig's hands clenched into fists. What did she see? Don't know. I interrupted her. What did you see, Sheila? What were you looking for? She's coming back Thursday, Craig said quietly. Then we kill her Thursday. No. Boss, she's a cop. I said no. Marco stepped back, hands raised. Then what do you want to do? Craig stared at the city lights, at the empire he'd built, at the life he'd carved from nothing. Thursday, he said softly. She's coming to her place Thursday. You're still going? Yes. When? Good question. Because I want to hear her say it. I want to look her in the eyes and hear her admit what she is. And then? Craig's expression went cold. The expression Marco knew well, the one that preceded violence and finality. And then we'll see. Tuesday, police station, 6:47 a.m. You're off the case. Sheila stared at Captain Morrison across his desk, her world crumbling. Captain, this isn't a negotiation, Detective Tuck. You're emotionally compromised, potentially exposed, and in violation of at least 3 department protocols. I can still... You kissed him! Banks threw a surveillance photo on the desk, grainy, distant, but unmistakable. Craig and Sheila on his balcony, locked in an embrace. You kissed the target! I was maintaining cover. Bullshit! Morrison's voice cut like a blade. I've read your reports. I've listened to the audio. You're falling for him. Fell. Past tense. Already fallen. 2 years? Sheila whispered. 2 years building this case, getting close, gathering evidence. You can't pull me now. Watch me. Captain, please. Detective Ramirez will take over. She's already been briefed. Ramirez doesn't know Craig. She doesn't have feelings for him, which makes her infinitely more qualified. The words hit like bullets. I want your badge and gun. What? You heard me. Badge and gun. Now. You're suspended pending an internal investigation. You can't. I can and I am. You think this is just about protocol? Craig Dwyer is connected to 4 murders, 3 kidnappings, and more drug trafficking than we can even track. And you're sleeping with him. I didn't sleep with yet, but you were planning to, Thursday, at your apartment. Oh yes, we know. Because unlike you, we're still doing our jobs. Sheila felt something inside her break, or maybe it had already been broken, and she was just now noticing. She pulled her badge from her belt, her service weapon from its holster, and placed them on Morrison's desk with a finality that echoed like thunder. This is a mistake, she said. The only mistake was trusting you. Meanwhile, Craig's world was unraveling. Vincent lounged in Craig's office chair like he owned it, feet on the desk, drinking Craig's scotch. Brother, Vincent said with false warmth, we need to talk. Get out of my chair. Our chair. In case you forgot, this operation was built by both of us. By me? You just rode my coattails. Vincent's smile disappeared. Careful, Craig. Your judgment's been questionable lately. Meaning? Meaning you're distracted by some woman while our whole operation is at risk. The shipment got intercepted. The FBI's closing in. And you're playing house with a cop. Craig's hand shot out, grabbing Vincent by the throat, slamming him against the wall. Say that again, Vincent wheezed, grinning even as he struggled for air. You didn't know? Craig released him. Oh, this is rich. Vincent coughed, rubbing his throat. The great Craig Dwyer, outsmarted by a pretty face. Tell me, brother, did she whisper sweet nothings while she was gathering evidence? Get out. The family's voting tonight. You're losing control, Craig. They see it. I see it. And when you're voted out, Vincent straightened his jacket, eyes cold. I'll be voted in over my dead body. That can be arranged. Sheila's apartment, Thursday, 7:30 p.m. She shouldn't have done it. She shouldn't have invited him. Shouldn't have cooked dinner. Shouldn't have set the table with the good china she never used. You're suspended. You're off the case. This is insane. But she'd texted him anyway, and he'd confirmed. He was coming. The knock came at exactly 8:00 p.m. Craig was always punctual. Sheila opened the door, and her breath caught. He stood there, in jeans and a simple black sweater. No suit, no armor, just him. And in his hands were flowers. Actual flowers. Hi, he said. Hi. This is the man who's ordered murders. This is the man you're supposed to arrest. This is the man you're falling in love with. He entered her apartment, modest, nothing like his penthouse, but clean, comfortable, hers. Wine? She asked. Please. They moved through the motions, dinner, conversation, carefully avoiding the weight of everything unsaid, but it hung between them like smoke, thick and suffocating. Finally, over dessert, Craig spoke. I need to ask you something. Sheila's heart stopped. Okay, and I need you to tell me the truth. Here it comes. Who are you? What? Not your name. I know your name. But who are you, really? Tell him. Don't tell him. Run. Stay. Craig, because I think I know. And if I'm right, His voice cracked. If I'm right, then everything we've had has been a lie. Sheila felt tears burning behind her eyes. Real tears, not tactical, not performance. It started as a lie. The words hung in the air like a gunshot. Craig's face went blank. What? I'm a cop, Craig. Undercover. I was assigned to investigate you, to get close to you, to gather evidence. He stood so abruptly the chair fell backward. 2 years, he whispered. 2 years they tried to get to me, and I was too smart, too careful. Then you came along, so perfect, so real, and I let my guard down. He laughed, a broken, hollow sound. God, I'm an idiot. No! Was any of it real? He spun to face her, and the pain in his eyes nearly destroyed her. The conversation? The connection? The kiss? Yeah, bullshit. Craig, listen to me. Why should I? You've done nothing but lie since the moment we met. Because I'm in love with you. The words exploded from her, unplanned, uncontrolled, undeniable. Silence. What did you say? Craig's voice was barely audible. I'm in love with you. Tears streamed down her face now. I didn't plan it. I didn't want it. I fought it every step of the way, but it happened. And I'm suspended because of it. And I'm probably going to lose my career. And I don't care, because the only thing I care about is you. Craig stared at her like she was speaking a foreign language. I know what you are, Sheila continued. I know the things you've done. I know I should arrest you, should hate you, should want you in prison. But I don't. I just want you. You're a cop. Yes, and I'm a criminal. Yes, this is insane. I know. Craig ran his hands through his hair, pacing like a caged animal. This can't work. You know this can't work. I know. Your people want me in prison. My people want you dead. I know. So what do we do? What do we do? Before Sheila could answer, her apartment door exploded inward. Marco stormed in, gun drawn, 3 men behind him. Step away from her, boss. Craig moved between Sheila and the guns. Marco, stand down. Can't do that. I'm giving you an order, and Vincent's giving me a different one. He's taking over, tonight. And his first order was to clean up your mess. Marco's eyes shifted to Sheila, starting with her. No. You work for Vincent now? Craig's voice was ice. After everything? After everything? I work for the family, and the family voted. You're out, Craig. And she, Marco gestured with his gun toward Sheila, is a liability. Over my dead body, if necessary. The men behind Marco raised their weapons. Sheila's mind raced. No badge, no gun, no backup, no way out. Craig, she whispered. Let me go. No, they'll kill you. I don't care. When did love become stronger than survival? Marco sighed. Boss, don't make this harder than it needs to be. You had a good run, built something real, but you got soft. Let a cop into your bed, into your head. The family can't have that. The family, Craig spat. You mean Vincent? My brother wants me dead so he can play king. He wants you alive, just retired, somewhere far away, but her? Marco's eyes settled on Sheila with cold finality. She knows too much. She's seen too much. She's a loose end. Then I'm a loose end too. Craig? Sheila grabbed his arm. If you kill her, you kill me. Those are the terms. Marco hesitated. You're bluffing. Am I? The standoff stretched like elastic about to snap. Then Sheila made her choice. She lunged for Craig's jacket, where she knew he kept his backup weapon, pulled it free, and pointed it at Marco. "New plan," she said, voice steady despite the terror coursing through her. "Everyone leaves, now," Marco laughed. "You think you can shoot your way out? There's 4 of us, 1 of you, 2 of us." Craig had produced his own weapon from somewhere. "And I'm a better shot than all of you combined." The room crackled with tension so thick it was suffocating. "You're making a mistake," Marco said. "Probably, but she's worth it." Did he just say, "Last chance"? Craig continued. "Leave. Tell Vincent I'm out. Tell him he can have the territory, the business, all of it. I don't care anymore. Just leave. He'll never stop hunting you. Then tell him to come himself. Not send men to do what he's too coward to do." Marco's jaw clenched. Then, slowly, he lowered his weapon. "You're a fool, Craig." "Probably. And you?" Marco looked at Sheila. "You destroyed him. I hope you're happy." They left. The moment the door closed, Craig's knees buckled. Sheila caught him, both of them sliding to the floor, backs against the wall, still clutching guns, still breathing hard. "That was insane," Sheila whispered. "Completely." "We should be dead. Probably." They sat in silence for a moment, processing what just happened. "You gave up everything," Sheila said. "Your empire, your family, everything you built." "I know. For me." "Yes." "Wait." Craig turned to look at her, and his eyes held something she'd never seen before. Vulnerability, certainty, surrender. "Because you're the first real thing I've had in 20 years, and I'd rather have one real thing than 1,000 fake ones." Sheila felt something break open inside her, some final wall she'd been clinging to. "I'll lose my career, my pension, everything I worked for." "I know. I'm supposed to arrest you." "I know. But I can't." "I know. So what do we do?" "What can we do?" Craig stood, offering his hand. "We run." "What?" "You heard me. We run. Leave Chicago. Leave our lives. Start over somewhere nobody knows us." "That's crazy. You got a better idea?" Sheila stared at his hand, calloused, scarred, offered in something that looked like hope. "What would you do if everything you believed turned out to be wrong?" She took his hand. 48 hours later, somewhere in Montana. The cabin was small, isolated, perfect. No internet, no phones. Just mountains and sky and silence. Craig stood on the porch, watching the sunrise paint the peaks gold. Sheila emerged from inside, carrying 2 mugs of coffee, and joined him. "Second thoughts?" she asked. "Every minute of every hour. Same." "Regrets?" She thought about her badge, her career, the life she'd planned. Thought about the woman she'd been before him. "No," she said. "You?" Craig pulled her close, kissing her forehead. "Not one." Can 2 broken people build something whole? They stood in silence, watching the world wake up. Then Craig's phone, the burner they'd bought 3 states ago, buzzed. Unknown number. Craig answered, putting it on speaker. "Brother?" Vincent's voice was silk over steel. "Nice try, but you can't run forever." "Vincent, I'm not calling to threaten you. I'm calling to make a deal." Craig and Sheila exchanged glances. "What kind of deal?" Craig asked carefully. The kind where everyone gets what they want. You want peace? Fine. Take your cop, disappear, live whatever pathetic love story you're deluding yourself with. But I want something in return. What? The ledger, the real one. The one with all the connections, all the deals, all the names. Give me that, and I'll leave you alone. Forever. The ledger Sheila was looking at that night. And if I don't? Then I hunt you both. Forever. Is she worth that? Craig looked at Sheila, this woman who'd upended his world, who'd cost him everything, who'd somehow become everything. Yes, he said. She is. Then I guess we're enemies now. I guess we are. Vincent hung up. Sheila stared at the phone. Craig, the ledger, if he gets it, he'll be untouchable. Everything I worked for, everyone we could have stopped. I know. But without it, he'll never stop hunting us. I know. So what do we do? Craig pulled her close, his forehead resting against hers. We make our stand. What? We go back. To Chicago. We end this. That's suicide. Maybe. Or maybe it's the only way we get to actually live. When survival and living are different things, which do you choose? Chicago, 1 week later. The restaurant was called La Bella Notte, neutral ground, public enough to prevent immediate violence, private enough to talk business. Craig and Sheila entered together. Not criminals, not cops. Just two people who'd decided dying together was better than running forever. Vincent sat at a corner table, Marco beside him. 6 armed men positioned strategically throughout the restaurant. Brother, Vincent greeted with false warmth. You came. We came, Craig corrected, pulling out Sheila's chair before sitting himself. Vincent's eyes settled on Sheila with predatory interest. The cop who broke the unbreakable Craig Dwyer. I'm almost impressed. Almost? Sheila's voice was steady. You destroyed an empire, cost me millions in cleanup, put targets on both your backs. Impressive would be if you'd survived it. We're still here. For now. Craig leaned forward. You wanted a meeting. We're here. Talk. The ledger. You can't have it. Then this conversation is over. Not quite. Sheila pulled out a tablet, sliding it across the table. We have a counteroffer. Vincent picked it up, his expression darkening as he scrolled. Names, dates, transactions. Everything. You copied it? His voice was dangerous. We did better than that, Craig said. We sent copies to 3 different people. Lawyers, journalists, federal prosecutors. They're in secure locations with instructions. If anything happens to either of us, everything goes public. Every name, every crime, every connection. You're bluffing. Try us. Vincent's hands clenched around the tablet. You'd destroy everything? The entire family? To protect her? To protect us? Yes. You're insane. Maybe, but I'm done playing your game. Marco leaned forward. Boss, let me… Vincent raised a hand, silencing him. He studied Craig, then Sheila, calculations visible behind his eyes. You realize this doesn't end well for either of you. Even if I agree, there are other families, other players. People who'll want you dead just for knowing what you know. We'll take our chances, Sheila said. Wait, Vincent's voice held genuine curiosity. Why risk everything? You're a cop. He's a criminal. This is Romeo and Juliet, and we all know how that ended. Because sometimes, Sheila said quietly, loving someone is worth dying for. Vincent stared at her, something flickering in his expression. Envy? Regret? I almost admire you, he said finally. Both of you, Almost. So, Craig asked, do we have a deal? The silence stretched eternal. Then Vincent stood, straightening his jacket. You get 1 year. 1 year of peace. After that? He shrugged. No promises, but I won't be the one to break it. That's all we ask. For what it's worth, brother. Vincent paused at the door. She better be worth it. Craig pulled Sheila close. She is. Vincent left, his men following. The moment they were gone, Sheila let out a breath she'd been holding. Did we just survive that? I think so. For a year. 1 year's better than 1 minute. She turned to face him. Craig, we can't keep living like this. Looking over our shoulders, waiting for… Sheila. He cupped her face gently. I know, but 1 year gives us time. Time to plan, to prepare, to figure out what comes next. And what does come next? I don't know. He kissed her softly. But for the first time in my life, I don't need to know. I just need to be with you. Can love survive when the whole world is against it? There's something else, Sheila said. What? She pulled out a small object, setting it on the table between them. A gold badge. That's… Craig stared. My badge. Morrison gave it back. Reinstatement hearing is next month. If I testify about everything I learned, if I help bring down the other families, they'll give me my job back. Full pension. Everything. Craig's face went blank. That's good. Is it? It's what you worked for. Your career. Your life's purpose. My life's purpose changed. She pushed the badge toward him. I'm not going back. Sheila, I'm not going back to being a cop. I'm not testifying. I'm not destroying what we have for a career that was built on lies anyway. You can't throw away. I'm not throwing away anything. I'm choosing. For the first time in my life, I'm choosing what I want, instead of what I'm supposed to want. Craig stared at her, and she saw everything in his eyes. Disbelief, hope, love, fear. Are you sure? He whispered. The only thing I've ever been sure about is you. He pulled her into a kiss. Deep, desperate, definitive. When they broke apart, Craig took the badge, walked to the nearby bar, and handed it to the bartender. Frame this, he said. It's a reminder of the day we both stopped running. 3 months later, the house wasn't a mansion, not even close. It was a modest 2-story in a quiet neighborhood where people knew each other's names but minded their own business. Sheila tended her garden while Craig installed a new mailbox. Neighbors waved, dogs barked, children played in sprinklers. Normal, boring, perfect. Think Vincent will keep his word? Sheila asked as they sat on the porch that evening watching the sunset. For now, he's consolidating power, eliminating rivals. He doesn't need the distraction of hunting us. And after the year, we'll figure it out. Together. She leaned against him, feeling his heartbeat, steady, alive, real. Do you ever regret it? She asked. Giving up everything? Craig was quiet for a moment. I gave up an empire built on blood and lies. You gave up a career built on sacrifice and justice. We both gave up everything. But, he turned to face her. We gained something worth more. Each other? Life. Actual life. Not performance, not masks, not games. Just this mundane, beautiful, ordinary, extraordinary life. I love you, Sheila whispered. I love you too. And in that moment, with the sun setting and the world turning and danger lurking in tomorrow, They had everything that mattered. 6 months later, the phone rang at 3 a.m. Craig answered, still groggy. Hello? Mr. Dwyer? An unfamiliar voice. This is Detective Raymond Banks. Craig was instantly awake, reaching for the weapon he still kept in the nightstand. Sheila stirred beside him. What do you want, Detective? Not what you think. I'm not calling to arrest you. I'm calling to warn you. About? Vincent's dead. Killed 3 hours ago in a FBI raid. And before he died, Banks paused. He talked, gave them everything. Names, locations, operations, but he also told them where to find you. Craig's blood ran cold. How long do we have? Maybe 24 hours before they piece it together. Maybe less. Why are you warning me? Because Sheila was the best cop I ever worked with, and she chose you. That means something, even to an old cynic like me. Thank you. Don't thank me. Just run. And this time, don't stop running. Banks hung up. Craig turned to find Sheila already packing, efficient, methodical, a cop even in crisis. How far? She asked. International. Far as we can get. Won't be far enough. Then we'll keep moving. She paused, looking at the life they'd built, the photos on the wall, the furniture they'd chosen together, the garden she'd planted. It was nice while it lasted, she said quietly. Craig pulled her close. It's not over. Just relocating. Can you live like this? Forever running? Can I live without you? The answer was in his eyes. They grabbed 3 bags, always kept packed, always ready, and disappeared into the pre-dawn darkness. Behind them, the house stood empty, a monument to a love that defied logic, that challenged fate, that refused to die even when the whole world demanded it. At airport terminal, as they waited for their flight, fake passports, fake names, fake lives, Sheila took Craig's hand. Do you think we'll ever stop running? Craig looked at her, this woman who'd dismantled his empire, destroyed his defenses, and somehow become his entire world. I don't know, he said honestly. But wherever we're running to, we're running together. And that's enough. Their flight was called. As they stood, Sheila noticed a man watching them from across the terminal. Suit, earpiece, federal agent written all over him. They found us already. Craig saw him too. Their eyes met. The agent's hand moved to his radio. Gates this way, Sheila said calmly, moving in the opposite direction. He's calling it in. I know. We'll never make the flight. Plan B? Craig smiled, that dangerous smile she'd fallen in love with. We improvise. They moved through the terminal like ghosts, weaving through crowds, always one step ahead, always together. Because, in the end, that was all they had, each other. And sometimes, that's enough to fight the whole world. The end, or is it? Subscribe for Part 2. The Mafia Boss and the Cop, running from love, running toward fate. What happens when the chase becomes life? When running together means never being free? When love is both the prison and the key? Like this story? Hit subscribe for more forbidden romance, impossible choices, and the kind of love that makes you question everything you thought you knew. Drop a comment. Would you give up everything for love? Or is duty more important than desire?